Roman Reigns attacks CM Punk and challenges him for World Heavyweight title at WWE SmackDown. Wait just a damn second. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the man who's held championship gold for over 1,200 days, just blindsided CM Punk on SmackDown and challenged him for the World Heavyweight Championship. The same Roman Reigns who's been the champion, the face of WWE, the undisputed Universal Champion for years, is now chasing someone else's title. And he did it by attacking Punk from behind like some cowardly heel instead of challenging him face to face like a man. The hypocrisy. The absolute disgrace. Roman has spent years talking about honor, about being acknowledged, about being the head of the table, and then he jumps CM Punk from behind like a common thug. But what Roman revealed about why he's targeting Punk specifically, the brutal assault that left Punk unconscious, and what this means for the entire WWE Championship landscape is going to obliterate everything you thought you knew about WWE's power structure heading into WrestleMania season. But here's what should have every wrestling fan ready to flip tables right now. WWE just completely destroyed their own brand hierarchy by having Roman Reigns, who should be above everyone as the top champion, suddenly decide he wants the World Heavyweight Championship that's been positioned as the secondary title on Raw. This makes zero sense. Roman has the more prestigious championship. Roman is on SmackDown. The World Heavyweight title is on Raw. Why would Roman, who's been booked as untouchable and superior to everyone for years, suddenly care about a title that's been treated as less important than his own championships? This is WWE admitting that they failed to make the World Heavyweight Championship feel equal to Roman's titles, and now they're trying to fix it by having Roman chase it, which actually makes Roman look weaker for wanting something that's been positioned as beneath him. The logic is completely broken. Let me break down exactly what happened on SmackDown because this attack was vicious, shocking, and revealed a side of Roman Reigns we haven't seen in years. SmackDown is about 2 hours into the show. CM Punk had been advertised to appear on SmackDown as part of a champion exchange program where Raw and SmackDown champions occasionally appear on each other's shows to promote upcoming premium live events. Punk came out earlier in the night with the World Heavyweight Championship, cut a promo about being the best in the world, took some shots at various SmackDown superstars who he claimed weren't on his level, standard CM Punk arrogance that gets him heat but also respect because he backs it up. Fast forward to the final segment of SmackDown. Punk is backstage in the interview area doing a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. They're discussing Punk's upcoming title defense, his thoughts on the current state of WWE, his rivalry with various Raw superstars. It's a fairly standard interview segment, nothing particularly controversial or heated. Punk is relaxed, confident, doing his usual shtick where he's simultaneously arrogant and charismatic in a way that makes you want to hate him but can't help but be entertained by him. Cole asks Punk about whether he feels like he's finally getting the respect he deserves since returning to WWE after his decade-long absence. Punk starts to answer, "Michael, respect is something I stopped caring about a long time ago. I don't need respect. I don't need validation. I have this." Punk points to the World Heavyweight Championship, and this is the only thing that matters. As long as I have this title, as long as I'm the champion, I'm exactly where I deserve to be. And anyone who has a problem with that can step up and... Punk doesn't finish the sentence because Roman Reigns appears completely out of nowhere and destroys Punk with a Superman punch that sends Punk flying backward off his chair. The attack is so sudden, so unexpected, that even Cole jumps back in shock. Roman doesn't say a word. He just starts assaulting Punk with a level of aggression and violence we haven't seen from Roman in years. Roman picks Punk up and throws him into the interview set backdrop, which collapses from the impact. Punk tries to fight back, tries to get some offense in, but Roman is relentless. Roman grabs Punk and delivers a devastating spear that drives Punk through a nearby equipment table. The crash is sickening. Sparks fly from broken electronics. Punk is laid out in the wreckage, barely moving, and Roman stands over him with this look of cold satisfaction. But Roman isn't done. Roman picks up the World Heavyweight Championship that fell during the attack, stares at it for a long moment, and then throws it down onto Punk's unconscious body with contempt. Finally, Roman speaks. And his voice is that low, menacing tone that's more terrifying than any screaming. "You think this makes you the best in the world?" Roman points at the championship on Punk's chest. "You think holding that title for a few months makes you special? Makes you worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as the Tribal Chief? Punk, I've been the champion for over 3 years. I've beaten everyone, conquered everyone, and now I'm bored. I'm bored of SmackDown. I'm bored of the same challengers. I'm bored of being the only one at the top. So I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to take your championship, not because I need it, not because it makes me more legitimate, but because I can. Because you and everyone else needs to understand that there are no championships I can't win. No titles I can't claim. No brands where Roman Reigns isn't the ultimate authority." Security finally arrives but they're too late to prevent the attack. Roman allows himself to be escorted away, but he's walking with that swagger that says he's completely satisfied with what he just did. Medical staff rush to check on CM Punk, who's slowly regaining consciousness but clearly hurt. The World Heavyweight Championship is still lying on Punk's chest, and the visual of Punk laid out with his title on top of him is powerful and disturbing. SmackDown goes to commercial with that image, and when it comes back, Adam Pearce is on screen looking absolutely furious. Pearce is in his office, clearly having just gotten off the phone with WWE management. What Roman Reigns just did was unacceptable. Attacking a Raw superstar on SmackDown without provocation, without warning, is a violation of every protocol we have. But Roman Reigns doesn't care about protocols. Roman Reigns doesn't care about brand divisions. Roman Reigns does whatever he wants because he thinks being champion for 3 years gives him that right. Well, I've got news for Roman. There will be consequences. But Pearce pauses, and you can see him struggling with what he's about to say. Roman's challenge has been heard, and I'm sure Raw general manager, along with CM Punk himself, will have a response to this attack and this challenge. This is far from over. The show ends with video replaying Roman's assault on Punk from multiple angles, and the commentary team is losing their minds trying to process what they just witnessed. Michael Cole is talking about how he's never seen Roman this aggressive, this focused, this violent outside of a sanctioned match. Corey Graves is speculating about what this means for both championships, both brands, and the entire WWE hierarchy. The final image is a freeze frame of Roman standing over Punk's unconscious body with that cold, emotionless expression that says Roman doesn't feel an ounce of remorse for what he did. Now let's break down all the massive problems and implications of this angle because there are so many layers of terrible booking decisions and continuity issues despite the undeniable shock value. First and foremost, Roman Reigns attacking CM Punk from behind completely contradicts Roman's character as the tribal chief. Roman has spent years being positioned as someone who wins through dominance, not through cowardly tactics. Roman defeats people face to face after acknowledging them as worthy opponents. Roman doesn't jump people from behind during interviews. That's heel behavior, but not the kind of heel behavior that fits Roman's character. It makes Roman look less like a dominant chief and more like a common thug. Second, why does Roman Reigns want the World Heavyweight Championship? Roman has his own championships that have been positioned as more prestigious. The undisputed Universal Championship has been the top title in WWE for years. The World Heavyweight Championship was literally created to be the secondary world title when Roman unified the previous titles. So Roman going after the lesser championship makes him look like he's moving down in prestige rather than maintaining or elevating his status. The only way this makes sense is if WWE is planning to have Roman hold both championships simultaneously to truly be undisputed, but that creates its own problems. Third, this completely destroys the brand split again. Roman is a SmackDown superstar. Punk is a Raw superstar. They're on different shows with different championships. Roman attacking Punk on SmackDown and challenging for his Raw championship ignores the entire concept of brand separation that WWE has been trying to maintain. If champions can just challenge for titles on other brands whenever they want, what's the point of having separate brands? WWE constantly violates their own brand split rules whenever it's convenient, which trains fans to not take the brand structure seriously. Fourth, CM Punk getting attacked and destroyed by Roman makes Punk look weak as the World Heavyweight Champion. Punk is supposed to be the best in the world, a legitimate threat, someone who can compete with anyone, but he got jumped from behind during an interview and couldn't defend himself at all. Roman completely dominated him. That doesn't make fans confident that Punk can beat Roman in an actual match for the championship. If anything, it makes the eventual title match feel like a foregone conclusion where Roman wins easily. Fifth, what happens to Roman's current championship if he wins the World Heavyweight title? Does he vacate his current titles? Does he hold both championships and defend them separately? Does WWE unify them again into one super championship? None of these options are good. Vacating makes Roman look like his previous titles weren't important enough to keep. Holding both means one title always feels secondary when he only defends one at a time. Unifying them eliminates a world championship and reduces opportunities for other wrestlers. Let's talk about the timing of this attack because it raises questions about WWE's WrestleMania plans. We're entering WrestleMania season, which means WWE should be finalizing their main event plans. Is Roman vs. Punk the WrestleMania main event? That would be a massive match with huge drawing power. But what about Cody Rhodes, who's been positioned as Roman's primary challenger for 2 years? What about The Rock, who's been teased as Roman's WrestleMania opponent? Throwing Punk into the mix this late in the game suggests either WWE changed their plans or they're building a multi-person match, which would dilute the storytelling. The Roman Reigns character is in a fascinating but problematic place. Roman said he's bored of SmackDown and his current challengers, which is actually a brilliant motivation for why he'd go after Punk's title. Roman has beaten everyone on SmackDown multiple times. He's conquered every possible challenger. So seeking out a new challenge on a different brand with a different championship makes sense from a character standpoint. The problem is the method. Roman should have challenged Punk face to face like a man, not attacked him from behind during an interview. CM Punk's response to this attack is going to be critical for his character. Punk can't just take this lying down and accept a title defense weekly. Punk needs to fire back hard, both verbally and physically. Punk should show up on SmackDown next week uninvited, interrupt Roman's segment, and return the favor with his own assault. Punk should make it clear that while Roman might be the tribal chief of SmackDown, Punk is the best in the world everywhere, and Roman just made the biggest mistake of his career by thinking Punk would be an easy target. The Paul Heyman factor is conspicuously absent from this angle so far. Heyman is Roman's wise man, his advisor, his advocate. Where was Heyman during this attack? Did Heyman know Roman was planning this? Did Heyman advise this course of action? Or is Roman operating independently now without Heyman's counsel? The absence of Heyman from this segment is notable and suggests either WWE forgot about him, which would be terrible continuity, or there's a story reason for his absence that will be revealed later. Social media reaction to this segment has been explosive and divided. Wrestling Twitter is absolutely buzzing with debates about whether this is genius booking or complete nonsense. Some fans love the idea of Roman vs. Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship and think this could be the match of the year. Other fans are furious that Roman attacked Punk from behind and think it contradicts Roman's character. There's also significant confusion about the championship situation and what this means for WWE's title hierarchy. The lack of consensus shows that WWE created a shocking moment without clear storytelling logic behind it. Wrestling journalists have been critical of several aspects of this angle. Dave Meltzer reportedly questioned why Roman would want the secondary title when he already has the primary title, calling it backwards prestige hierarchy. Wade Keller praised the shock value of the attack but worried that Roman's heel tactics contradict his character development over the past 3 years. Brian Alvarez went on a rant about WWE's continued inability to maintain a consistent brand split and how this angle makes the entire brand structure feel meaningless. Here's what WWE should do to make this storyline work going forward. First, have CM Punk respond immediately and aggressively. Punk should show up on SmackDown next week and attack Roman during his entrance, returning the favor and showing he's not intimidated. This establishes that Punk is a worthy opponent who can match Roman's aggression. Second, have Paul Heyman get involved as the mediator who tries to control both men and manipulate the situation to his advantage, possibly playing both sides. Third, build to a champion versus champion match at the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber where both titles are on the line. Winner takes all and becomes the undisputed champion across both brands. Fourth, use this feud to elevate the World Heavyweight Championship to the same level as Roman's titles by having Roman actively pursue it and treat it as important. Roman's interest in the title should make fans re-evaluate its prestige. Fifth, the actual match between Roman and Punk needs to be competitive and go long 30+ minutes of back-and-forth action where both men look like equals and the outcome is genuinely in doubt until the final moment. Sixth, whoever wins needs to be positioned as the absolute top star in all of WWE, holding both championships and being presented as the ultimate final boss. But what will actually happen? Probably something disappointing. WWE will likely have Roman and Punk trade attacks for a few weeks, build to a title match at the next premium live event, have some kind of screwy finish that protects both men, and then extend the feud for several more months without a clear resolution. Or they'll have Roman win quickly and decisively, which buries Punk in the World Heavyweight Championship. Or they'll have Punk win through disqualification or countout, which doesn't resolve anything and makes both men look weak. WWE has a terrible track record of actually delivering satisfying conclusions to big match feuds, so expectations should be tempered despite the exciting premise. The bigger question is what this means for WWE's overall direction. Is WWE moving toward eliminating the brand split entirely? Are they planning to merge the championships again? Are they trying to create a forbidden door situation where brands are technically separate but champions can cross over whenever they want? The lack of clear answers creates uncertainty that's either intriguing mystery or confusing chaos depending on your perspective. WWE needs to clarify their intentions and rules quickly before fans completely check out of trying to understand the logic. Roman's motivation of being bored is actually brilliant and could be expanded into a larger character arc. Roman has been so dominant for so long that he's running out of challenges. He's beaten everyone on SmackDown multiple times. The only way for Roman to feel fulfilled as a competitor is to seek out new challenges on different brands with different championships. This could lead to Roman going after the Intercontinental Championship next, or the United States Championship, or even NXT Championships, trying to become the first wrestler to hold every championship in WWE simultaneously. That would be a massive storyline that positions Roman as the ultimate completionist. CM Punk's best in the world claim is directly challenged by Roman's tribal chief claim, which creates natural conflict. Both men believe they're the absolute best, the ultimate authority, the measuring stick for excellence. Only one of them can be right. Their philosophies are different. Punk believes his technical skill and ring intelligence make him the best, while Roman believes his dominance and championship longevity make him the best. The match should be framed as settling that philosophical debate once and for all. The stakes of this feud need to be clearly established. What happens to the loser? Does the losing champion lose their title and have to acknowledge the winner as superior? Does the loser have to leave their brand? Does the loser get suspended or fired? WWE needs to add additional consequences beyond just the championship changing hands, because both men have been champions before and won/lost titles before. There needs to be something more at stake to make this feel truly epic and career-defining for both competitors. Let's discuss the potential finish scenarios. If Roman wins, he becomes the undisputed champion holding both titles and is positioned as the absolute final boss of WWE heading into WrestleMania. This makes sense for Roman's character but buries Punk and makes the World Heavyweight Championship feel inferior. If Punk wins, he shocks the world by defeating Roman, ends Roman's historic reign, and establishes himself as the true best in the world. This elevates Punk but potentially ends Roman's momentum that's been building for 3 years. If there's a no contest or draw, both men stay champions but nothing is resolved and fans feel cheated. My ideal scenario, they fight to a time limit draw in their first match, establishing their equals. This leads to a rematch with a special stipulation, maybe an Iron Man match or a 2 out of 3 falls match where there has to be a winner. In that rematch, the match goes to the absolute limit, with both men hitting their finishers multiple times, both men kicking out of everything, both men showing incredible heart and resilience. Eventually, Punk wins by the slimmest margin possible, maybe 1 fall to 0 in an Iron Man match, or by submission after a 30-minute battle. Punk takes both championships, ending Roman's reign, and establishes himself as the new top star. Roman takes time off to heal, then returns as a humbled but even more dangerous challenger looking to reclaim his spot. The problem with that scenario is it requires WWE to actually commit to putting someone over Roman clean and decisively, which they've been terrified to do for 3 years. WWE has protected Roman so heavily that having him lose clean feels almost impossible. But if WWE wants to create a new top star in CM Punk and make this feud matter, they have to be willing to let Roman lose definitively. Otherwise, what's the point of the feud? Just having Roman win again and continue his reign doesn't create anything new or interesting. It's just more of the same. The Paul Heyman element could add incredible drama if utilized properly. Imagine Heyman being torn between Roman, his longtime client and the tribal chief, and Punk, his former client who he has history with from their ECW and WWE days. Heyman could play both sides, giving advice to both men, trying to position himself as the power behind the throne regardless of who wins. This could lead to a moment where Heyman has to choose between them during the match, and his choice determines the outcome. That would be incredible drama and would add layers to what's already a compelling feud. The cross-brand implications are massive for the rest of the roster. If Roman can challenge for Raw championships while still being on SmackDown, can other SmackDown superstars do the same? Can Raw superstars challenge for SmackDown titles? Does this open the forbidden door between brands where anyone can challenge anyone regardless of which show they're assigned to? That could create incredible matchup possibilities but also completely eliminates the purpose of having separate brands. WWE needs to establish clear rules about how this works going forward. Comment below with every thought you have about this insane situation. Was Roman justified in attacking Punk or did he cross the line? Should Roman pursue Punk's championship or should he stay in his own lane? Can CM Punk actually beat Roman Reigns or is this a foregone conclusion? What should happen to both championships? Is this building to WrestleMania or a different event? Who should win this feud? Smash that like button if you're excited about Roman versus Punk. Share this video with every wrestling fan who needs to understand what just happened. Subscribe to WrestlingNewsCC with notifications on because this story is developing rapidly. Roman Reigns just declared war on CM Punk and the entire championship structure, and nothing will ever be the same. This is the biggest challenge Roman's faced in years, and we're here to cover every single development.